Hi, and thanks for tuning in to our live radio show. Moments of Clarity with Tiffany will begin in just a few moments. Please stay tuned. Kindly take this opportunity to share this show on your platforms because change can only come when we stand together as one, especially when it comes to ending the stigma on mental health.
You are not alone, and help is out there.
Kids have mental health issues, and we also need to learn coping skills.
Let's get started and let the show begin. See you soon.
Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werhner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And my guest today, we were here yesterday. This is part 2 of possibly a 4-part series we're talking about. It was going to be part 2 of a 2-part, but so much to talk about with the truths and myths of mental health and behind mental health. And thank you for being here, Kirk Miller. One of my close friends.
So, and the last show was great. So there's lots of room to talk on this particular subject too. So
yeah, I think I was just telling Kirk, I'm sorry I interrupted. We just I just wanted to keep us on track, but not only that, not knowing exactly where we were going, and I didn't want to jump ahead, but then I accidentally did, and I don't know. It exhausted us, and then so hold on, I'm gonna let Ed in. It's 12:06, but then we were both like late to get here, and I was like,
Deal. Visit us at flysnf.org.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werhner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werhner.
Hello, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werhner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to do part 2 of from continuing from yesterday with a good friend of mine, well-educated, and I'll give him a complete formal introduction, but Kirk Miller, who used to co-host Beyond Clarity with me We did that for almost 2 years, at least a year and a half or more. I always love having him back more often than any guest, and because he and I both really talk with mental health. He doesn't mind if I interrupt him, and he laughs at my dumb joke. What more could you ask for? Before I get into that and embarrass myself anymore, and say hi to Ed at Tan Talk Radio.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
So Ed, happy Friday. You got the memo. We're supposed to wear red on Fridays for the veterans. And
yeah, we'll go with that. Okay. I usually the blue one and the black ones, and I forgot I had the red, but red's really not my color. Color makes me look like a big stop sign. So no.
What? Well, you want everyone to call you Big Ed, but you're really not that big.
No.
I've never heard that before.
Did you see his face? Virtually, if you guys are listening to us in the car, virtually we got over 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. We just hit 13,000. So if you just go to YouTube and type in Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, you can see us live. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I think I'm going to give like a free giveaway, but once we hit 15 at a lottery of either a free 30-second ad or a free guest spot. If you hit 15,000, maybe by, I don't know, June. Let's see.
Tomorrow, go for it. Shoot for the moon. Right? So
I was trying to think of, it's still March or it's April 1st. It's April Fool's Day.
It is.
It is.
I already pulled one this morning, so.
You did? What'd you do?
I announced I was getting married.
Oh.
And Lola came running in here. Are you kidding me?
Lola,
you learned from your last one? Huh?
The radio station owner?
Yes.
Lola, for everyone that doesn't know who she is.
Of course, she gave me all the support in the world, telling me I didn't learn anything from my last marriage.
Well, the last marriage put you on Dr. Phil for a 2-part series.
And I was only married once, so let's just get that out there. It's not like I have a barrage of them.
What was the title of your show? My Deadbeat Son-in-Law?
No,
it's either me or your deadbeat son. It's either me or your deadbeat son.
It's either me or your deadbeat son. And I did not want that. I was upset. I almost didn't walk out. I mean, I almost didn't walk onto the stage because I did not want. I would never make anybody choose. And at first it made it look like I was making her make a choice, and that's not true.
Yeah, well, it's all about publicity and how you title it. And I have conflicts within that. Do I want a catchy title that's going to embarrass my guest, or just tell it how it is and have people watch the show? So I don't like to, like I could have said this title, Kirk used to bleach his peach fuzz on his head and look like Eminem. We were talking about it right before we went on the air. So I was saying, man, we both had a late start today. And I said, well, at least your hair looks better than mine. And Kirk, you said, what?
I was like, oh, mine takes no upkeep, which is nice.
But you used to dye it.
I did. So I shaved my head since I was in high school. And for some reason, I dyed my hair with using the old lemon thing, so it turned like bright yellow. And we were on a family trip, and everybody kept coming up to me thinking I was Eminem, which is really odd. It was a big compliment, but I didn't have the street cred to qualify for that one.
Have you ever asked anyone to pick you up some shampoo, and then they were going to say what kind?
Oh, I need to try that. I will do that.
See which one say what kind of shampoo. Anything particular?
Exactly. Now I'm kind of curious.
Just say whatever best for bald people.
Well, I would actually go in and bring them back nioxin or like whatever that hair growth stuff. Sure.
Yeah, the nioxin's supposed to be pretty good. So I don't know if it's worth it anymore, but I never liked my high forehead anyway. So, it was an easy solution back in
bangs.
I think 8th grade.
That's a whole
oh my goodness. I'll find an old picture of my.
We'll talk about men losing their hair, and does it cause self-esteem issues? And why does Ed feel like a big red stop sign when he wears red? I think. More to come on Moments of Clarity with Tiffany.
There you go.
we would love callers to call 826-1340. And looks like one of my connections on the live stream is having problems. So if you're watching on one of them, please just, and having this, I don't know if you can hear it still, having difficulty on one of the connections, go back to YouTube, youtube.com/MOC with Tiffany, or just go look Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. And find us live on the air. It's always better watching it virtually anyway, but in my opinion. Anyway, slowly recap yesterday's show. It was me as co-hosting with Kirk, not quite Kirk the guest today. And he's going to be kind of co-hosting with me, discussing the truths and myths about mental health. And I'm a licensed mental health therapist. Been doing the radio show over 7 years, and my name's Tiffany Werhner, of course. And wrote a book on adult survivors of sexual abuse called "There's a Light Within You That's Never Gone Out," self-help book, and nominated for many awards on this. And I also have a private practice in Safety Harbor, Florida, Safety Harbor Behavioral Health and Counseling Center. My co-host here today, Kirk Patrick Miller, is an multi-award nominated author, and his book is phenomenal. Chaos to Cured. He's a violinist and music teacher. He suffers with many mental health diagnoses, or lives with, I would say. And
long list.
I'll be going through all of them. But so yesterday, if you missed the show, we kind of talked about what the acronyms meant for OCD, PTSD, ADHD, ABCD, EFG, I don't know, and depression. And so I hit replay on yesterday's show to recap that, because it really went into the description of what diagnoses, what the myths behind them, and what they are. And any feedback you want to say what we kind of recapped yesterday as well, Kirk?
One thing, I know we're kind of leading into, even how you deal with a business, and say, you're going in for a job, and there's that, you need to talk to your boss and say, I need a day off for this. And there's always the fear of, telling other people, because there is a huge stigma. So when someone is diagnosed with something, a lot of times, if the diagnosis is not properly delivered, and all of the mental health professionals out there are doing their very best, and sometimes the news just isn't quite, or it's overwhelming, and then it feels more like it attaches a label. So people are walking around feeling that they honestly fit a lot of stereotypes or stigmas, and mistruths, and that's what we were kind of talking about. And I kind of wanted to start with one that is a big one for me, which is, if somebody has a mental health condition, a lot of times people immediately jump towards violence, and especially with the gun issues that we have in this country. And I wanted to put that out there, that anything that's properly managed, there are definitely things to be concerned about, but as long as you are doing your work with your family, your loved ones, your therapist or psychiatrist, whatever you choose, everyone can live a normal life. So I think the biggest myth that I have is, one of them is, like, of course, violence is tied in, which it's not. But the other one is that if you are diagnosed with something, you lose all your potential, or you can't reach your dreams, which is just absolutely untrue. But a lot of people felt like that, including myself. And that took a long time to see that was not something that's a reality. So that I wanted to get that in the beginning.
That you said yesterday, something that you said yesterday, Kirk, I had feedback on that, actually, that you had brought up that you were diagnosed younger with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity. I did not reach my full potential, because I live with it and been diagnosed since as an adult, but back when I was young, and back when this person was telling me that attention deficit, we couldn't retain information. I didn't get the grades that, I had to really struggle to get in the University of Florida. And once I started studying psychology and sociology, I was like a sponge, like a video game. I didn't have to study. the feedback I got that you said from somebody, one of the listeners from the show, said what Kirk really said hit home, because he knows that he had anxiety his whole childhood, and everyone just said he was shy. And he's like, the whole time I know that I suffered with severe social anxiety, and I wasn't shy. I'm not shy. It was anxiety the whole time, undiagnosed. And that you explained it so well that it made this person feel heard and understood. So
That's
know that.
well, and that's why we have these dialogues and discussions. It's so important, for people to understand there's nothing wrong with having those particular conditions. I mean, for ADHD going through school, it was a battle trying to, keep focus. And especially with the setting, they'd sit us in a desk and you had to stay quiet. And all I wanted to do is fidget. So I was always clicking a pin or,
Me too.
causing problems. So,
sometimes when I'm on the phone, even now, I click a pen and I'll be just on a business call or with a client or scheduling a client, and they're like, could you please stop surfing the web while we're talking? And I'm like, not clicking a mouse, I just fidgeting with something in my hand. Another example was not so much yesterday's show, but a little bit ago, that I got this really kind, and these are the things that keep me going, email from someone I must have gone to high school with, because they saw one of the live streams and said, we must have gone to high school because we had a lot of similar friends on Facebook or whatnot. Yeah. And he saw one of the live streams, and his daughter was suffering with obsessive compulsive disorder, and he would have never thought to take her in to see a mental health professional until after watching Moments of Clarity. And this long letter on LinkedIn, a long private message saying, thank you so much. She's flourishing now, and I would have never thought to bring her into mental health because she was just quirky, and we thought it was just her personality. And now she's learned coping skills and is flourishing, and I wouldn't have done that without having seen one of your shows. Which
that parent deserves a pat on the back, because I know for the individual it's scary. It's also terrifying for family members or parents that are looking at the web and they're seeing all of these like terrible things that can happen, right? So especially with bipolar or schizophrenia, and we'll get into those in a second, but when you read up on it online, it's overwhelming, and a lot of times it's terrifying. And that's another reason, if you have concerns, go seek somebody to speak to, because then they can kind of lay out the facts for you and kind of dive through the extremes that you're going to read. So
not only that, some people don't know that with obsessive compulsive disorder that we explained yesterday, that the intrusive thoughts and having things just irrational, that's not a personality trait. That not everyone has to live like that. And there's medication, there's coping skills, there's talk therapy, there's exposure therapy. There's all sorts of things that can get someone through that. And I think that's what this person was trying to say, that they didn't even know that there was such a thing as obsessive compulsive disorder, that could have been the case. And having this little girl checked out, that a lot of people don't understand mental health. I want to invite callers to call in 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. We're kind of recapping on yesterday, but also where labels should be for food and not people. That there's nothing to be ashamed of. And those are two examples where that we had just given, if the labels were addressed, those two individuals, myself included as a child, so 3, would have lived a lot easier growing up, at least with school. That's just 2 examples. I would like to hear some more examples from you guys, and questions or just stories, anything. Welcome to join our live discussion, 866-826-1340. And at that point, it's time for our first break. 866-826-1340. Say it with me, Kirk.
866-826-1340.
And 866-826-1340. We will be back with Moments of Clarity. Kirk Miller, Tiffany Werhner, in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werhner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werhner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werhner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werhner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany.
Hi, welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werhner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we are co-hosting with me is Kirk Patrick Miller, former co-host with me on Beyond Clarity, and has been, I guess, so many times with me on Moments of Clarity with Tiffany that he's got his own playlist on my YouTube channel. Good friend of mine.
I'm honored.
And especially me too. I've got an Eminem lookalike when you put lemon juice in your hair.
There you go. You just need the right haircut.
And if you're just tuning in, that's in the beginning of the show. You're going to have to listen to the replay. And please follow us on YouTube at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I'm trying to aim up to 15,000 subscribers, and we'll have some free lottery giveaways for either a free 30-second ad to play on the show for a month or a free guest spot. Once we hit 15,000 subscribers by tomorrow. No, within an hour. I was saying once, like maybe June, and Kirk's like, tomorrow.
Yeah,
good luck with that.
Gotta
Kirk.
visualize what we want.
Anyway, so yeah, I think tomorrow's a little, I get competitive. Don't put that on me. So, anyway, while we were gone, we have a caller, Dale. Dale, welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany.
Hi, Dale.
Hi, Dale.
Hi, Kirk.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
How's everybody today? I'm fine. I wanted to talk about labels for a sec.
Yes, please do. It's so nice to hear your voice.
It's always good to hear you, and I actually am on live today.
Yeah, I know. Dale actually, after being on Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, found his journey into with David and Adam Duvall on the Mental Health Warrior, and runs his own show as well.
That's cool.
Later today, right? Or is on Thursday?
It's Tuesday at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Eastern.
I was wrong on both counts. It's Tuesdays. But yeah, so anyway, Dale's awesome and well done, and I'm glad that's going well for you. So let's hear about diagnosis, because let me give a little bit background for you. That Dale lived with schizophrenia. He actually was in an Ivy League school, very, very smart guy, and got diagnosed with schizophrenia. All of a sudden, he started to think he was God, and it set him back a little bit. And I'll let you tell your story. Go ahead, Dale.
My 2 minute story is I was a successful freshman year at Dartmouth. I had a breakdown or a psychotic break, and I went from being an Ivy League student to being in a mental hospital in New York City for 13 weeks, and then I came to a psychiatric program in New Jersey where I spent 5 years, and I was hospitalized 9 times, and I got out of that and got my own apartment, and I've been living on my own since 1981. But I went back to school and graduated magna cum laude in English, and then I became a tutor for Fairleigh Dickinson students for a while, and ultimately I wanted to start a business coaching the families of schizophrenia, so that to help them cope and deal with the vagrancies of the illness. And now in the last 6 months, I've become involved with a financial planning company.
Wow.
Oh, congratulations. I'm really excited to hear you went back and you didn't give up on yourself. I can relate. I had a couple breakdowns in college. One, I remember I had to like run to every dean of each department to get a time off slip. So, they didn't like dock all of my grades. So I absolutely relate to that. And not giving up is huge. And that's a perfect example of why these labels of like, if you have schizophrenia, you're done, you can't function. I love the fact you called in and shared that. What are your thoughts on some of the labels you dealt with, just out of curiosity?
Apropos of like the doctors, my first doctor in the hospital in my first hospitalization, I used to say, "Why am I here? There's nothing wrong with me." And he'd say, "Well, if you broke your leg, you come to the hospital, right, Dale?" And I said, "Yes." And he'd say, "Well, you broke your brain," and that like was like probably the most destructive comment that I've ever had to deal with.
Every time I hear Dale say that part of the story, I cringe.
Yeah,
I hate that part.
Okay,
You did not break your brain.
Okay.
You're brilliant. You got into Dartmouth and Ivy League, and just because a mental health issue came into play, it did not affect your intelligence.
Absolutely. Well, I'm just saying the doctor said my brain was broken, and that stayed with me for 35 years, and that this gets into like the labels and the
His
label of
brain's broken. You don't say that to a patient. What's wrong with that guy? I'm gonna say the doctor's brain's broken, not yours. He's got
With
Oh,
no
the
bedside
label
manner.
that when you said that it stuck with you, I actually literally writing something, I'm finishing it up today, that talks about how those sometimes when that's brought up and it's misdelivered, it just clings to you. It chains you to something that you didn't choose. And it makes you doubt yourself, your ability, your mental capacity, even your own reality at times. So I'm so sorry that was said to you. How did you overcome that?
Well, basically, what it led to, I'm working on a coaching program with this lady named Kayleen Wright. I don't know if you know her, but she's like devoted to like she suffered from severe PTSD for a long time, and she cured herself, and now she's like a teacher for people who with PTSD and how to recover and everything. But she brought up a very good point, which is that you know once you get a label, and it doesn't have to be mental illness. My last guest on my show was a fighter pilot, and he said that he became to himself known as a fighter pilot, and so when his time in the military ended, he didn't know what to do with himself. So it's not just like schizophrenia or bipolar or whatever. It can be anything, that people identify with, and so anyway, Kayleen said something very, very good. She said, you aren't you as a person aren't a schizophrenic. You're a person with schizophrenia, and I think that's like an incredibly profound distinction you have to make because, after the doctor said my brain was broken, I sort of took on that personality, and I'm still working on getting rid of this where I see myself as a schizophrenic, and therefore hopeless or helpless and unable to improve myself. Whereas actually, I'm just a person with schizophrenia, and my personality and myself is so much greater than the illness that I've been diagnosed with.
Yeah, Dale, I gotta tell you, what I love most about you is that you live with schizophrenia, how you've handled it, because you're funny about it, and that you're helping other families with people with that have been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and you're paying it forward. And I mean, Kirk, he's got jokes. You got to look at his first interview on Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. It's on the playlist. He's got jokes.
Oh, I
And we're
will.
not going to get into this, but I talked to Dale, and he's like, "How are you doing, Tiffany?" And I
those jokes quickly, Tiffany.
hold on, one second. I want to give you a compliment really quick. But he was the other day. He's like, just messaged me on Facebook, and he's like, "How are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm overwhelmed." And he goes, "Can I be the therapist?" Just being a friend and this thing. And but okay, yes, throw out a joke, Dale.
Okay, well, I figured out I was God at Dartmouth College, and that's why I got taken away. So I got put in a mental hospital, and my roommate's name was Gabriel, who was very deferential towards my mother, Mary, whose second husband's name was Joseph, and who ultimately married the judge.
So if anything couldn't reinforce, an episode, imagine having all of that go on. But
that
then he
would be
goes on and says,
interesting.
"But how could I have been God? Because how could God be 5'9"?"
That's what happened at Dartmouth. In fact, I'm right. I have a book being edited about what happened at Dartmouth, so I'll be sure to let you know when it's published. But basically, what happened was I figured out I was God, and then I was telling it as a joke. I was going around all around campus saying, "Hi, I'm God," and then seeing how long it was before I burst into hysterical laughter because how could God be 5'8"?
5'8". I was wrong.
Well,
Dale, thank you so much
please,
for calling in and for sharing. And please tune in live next week too, because all of that. But I want to get to this question, and Dale, don't hang up because you might be able to answer this. Les Levinson, hi Leslie, from Facebook. He says, "Being a man, you grow up to be tough, not show weakness, to share any negative emotions and feelings. Is this changing now?" I'm gonna let you guys answer it since you're both men.
I would say it's changing, but it has a long way to go. That is still something that people struggle with, and I did. Like, okay, is it okay to be upset? Is it okay to be, frantic? And especially when I was dealing with some pretty intense mood swings and depressions, I didn't know how to kind of, what they'd say, quote, man up, and do. So I still felt a lot of pressure. And it took me a long time to get to the point where instead of hiding from my label, I chose to embrace it. And what Dale had said earlier, where he said, that the comment he was given, that you're not your label, you're a person and you're walking with this. I personally went a step further and said, I embraced what I was given with. They make me unique. Yes, they cause some, interesting situations, but each time I overcome them, I feel better. I think we're getting to that point with men where they can finally start opening up and starting to say, "Listen, I'm depressed. I'm crying. It's okay to cry. It's okay to not be okay." That's kind of starting to get some traction. I think we still have a long way to go, personally. What do you think, Dale?
Well, I think my experience has been. I mean, I've been dealing with this for 46 years, so I think that's pretty extraordinary in itself because I don't think we have many schizophrenics who make it past 50 much. So, I'll be 67 in May. So,
yay! Okay, almost birthday, Dale. I gotta tell you though, you guys know Winnie the Pooh, right? I found out recently that from one of my clients, I think, but that Winnie the Pooh and all of his friends have mental health diagnoses, and they were written as such. Winnie the Pooh has ADHD. Apparently, I might get some of these wrong, but Rabbit, I was certain OCD, but Rabbit's a narcissist. Piglet's anxiety to the fullest, panic attack, all that. Christopher Robin, it has schizophrenia. That's why you can see all the animals and everything. Tigger, you would have diagnosed as ADHD, but manic, bipolar 1, mostly manic, and the owl, I forget, I don't know, and so forth.
Eeyore was depression.
Eeyore,
right?
major depressive disorder, yeah. So.
Well, what I was going to say in answer to you, Kirk, is, I think you have to be tough all the time, but you grow in stages, because like there was a time when I was basically out of the hospital, but and I would keep track of how many days I'd been out of the hospital, and then but that type of thing always led me back to the hospital. So it's just like but I think that as time goes on and you get to know yourself, I think self-awareness and self-insight is essential to recovery. But as you get to know yourself, you become more familiar with how the illness works, and I think that helps a lot.
And I think owning it rather than fearing it. I mean, I am so, with my diagnosis of ADHD and a little bit of anxiety, I mean, risk-taking, entrepreneur, things like that, multitasking. Summit Innovations off Facebook, I think, is kind of piggybacking on what we were talking about earlier, and I believe it's a male. I understand the story about being shy, he says. And years ago, it was called being shy, but now we know it's actually anxiety. Thanks for educating, and that's why this show is great. Thank you, Summit Innovations, and I'm glad that you got that from this. And Dale, I have to let you go. We have another caller, and we have caller Grace. But Grace, hang on for just a second before we get into a call. It's time for our second break. Dale, thanks for calling in. And
thank you, Dale.
Yeah, and it's great feedback that has been given to the show. This way, we need a 4-part next week. 2 more, Kirk.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. And please stay tuned.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werhner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Are you having trouble staying sober after you've completed rehab and need a positive environment to help you continue sobriety? At Real Recovery Sober Living, we strive in both community and environment for men in early sobriety to help support you while in early recovery. For only $750 a month, we cover everything you need when it comes to a safe, clean, and accountable environment necessary for success in sobriety. Check out our website at realrecoveryfl.com. That's realrecoveryfl.com. We have 6 locations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Brandon, North Tampa, and Bradenton, because everyone deserves a quality, sober living.
Hi,
Hi, this is your host, Tiffany Werhner from Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I want to thank you for all your support on ending the stigma on mental health for over the past 7 years and with over 600 episodes, as well as several award nominations and placing as a finalist in 3 categories on the People's Choice Podcast Award last year. If you're listening to this on audio, please visit and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany and enjoy viewing previous shows in case you missed any live. If you're interested in advertising and would like to promote your company, it is affordable and an effective way to get your company the attention it deserves. I also welcome potential guests as well, and all information can be found on my website at mocwithtiffany.com. Thank you again for your continued support, as change can only come when we stand together as one.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werhner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werhner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hello, and welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am Tiffany Werhner, licensed mental health counselor, and your host and co-host today. With me is Kirk Patrick Miller. Just a recap, and a wonderful person, wonderful friend. He used to co-host Beyond Clarity with me. So today, he's not just my guest, he's just helping me host the show because I wanted to do this 2 to 4 part series on educating, not just having a guest. And thank you, Kirk, for helping me do this. And welcome back, Kirk Patrick Miller. And
Glad to be
while
here.
we were on break, right before break, we got caller Grace. Grace, welcome to Moments of Clarity. Thanks for calling in.
Are you there, Grace? Hopefully we didn't lose her. We might have.
Let's see. Ed said, Ed, did we lose Grace?
Looks like
Grace,
it.
Oh, that's
Grace,
good.
please call back in, 866-826-1340. Maybe she had to go because we couldn't get to her by the break or whatever, but 866-826-1340, and I'll put the number back up here on the screen.
I did like our last caller too. Some of the things that he talked about, I know with schizophrenia, and that one is often misrepresented in shows, and confused with other diagnoses. I know that Me, Myself, and Irene show that they had a long time ago. Yes, that particular show is the wrong diagnosis.
Yeah, they gave him off the wrong diet. We keep saying the same thing over and over again, by the way, right? At the exact same time. I think Grace came back.
Hi, Grace.
Yes, hi. I'm sorry, I had it on mute. So I was talking that whole time with it on mute.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Okay.
That happens to me. Grace, are you a first-time caller? Welcome to Moments of Clarity.
Yes, I am.
Yes, thank you. Welcome to our tribe.
Thank you. I was just saying earlier when I was on mute how wonderful it is to know that you're very proactive in educating on mental health, because as we know, without the brain, without mental clarity, we have nothing. And part of the issues I'm having with the stigmas of mental health are these labels that we place upon people that actually just are perceiving and receiving information in a different way. It's a different way of communicating for them. I have different processes in order to translate the things that you and I talk about in a different way. I don't like to look at mental illnesses as illnesses per se. I like to just look at them as words that are trying to describe ways in which they're trying to communicate with us. If we look at it like that, then we can maybe get rid of the stigma that we have for people with schizophrenia, because, when we're talking about illnesses in general, we understand the importance of knowing that there's a fine line between genius and an illness.
No, it's so true. So true.
Mental health, right?
Some
absolutely.
people, okay, so like even with autism, I mean, there's social inaccuracy, but it doesn't affect mental learning or intelligence. Sometimes people that live with autism are amazing at IT, computer skills, things like that. They just have a little bit of trouble with social skills. And
That's right. That's
things
right.
like that, ADHD. Sometimes we don't want to pay attention to certain things or retain things, but we are amazing at things we want to do and that we can retain.
Exactly.
And with bipolar, you can go on and on. And Grace, you know, like, where have you been for the past 7 years when I've been trying to tell everyone to stick on mental health has to go?
We loved what you said.
I want
yeah.
you to keep calling into the show because everything you just said, I'm like reaching for my bell. I want you to be a regular caller.
I'm so excited to find you.
What?
Yes, I've just been so in search for looking for people that speak the same language, that we can come together and say it differently so that other people can understand what we're trying to say.
I'm glad you found me. I've been doing this for over 7 years. Please subscribe to the YouTube because we're on live every Thursday and Friday. And then also, if you go to mocwithtiffany.com, my website, you can also find an Instagram and just message me and we can collaborate. You could be a guest.
I would love that.
So find me on Instagram. Everything's mocwithtiffany.com. MOCWITHTIFFANY.com. But I'm on Instagram. I don't really use Twitter so much, but LinkedIn.
Okay.
But or just email me. But everything's on the website. Just
definitely
message us.
I'm so looking forward to. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and
here's
Grace,
the
I love
website
what
across the screen. But definitely YouTube. And but to leave a message, mocwithtiffany.com. Find me on Instagram. That's the one that. And yes, let's come together because, like I always say, change can only come when we stand together as one. Kirk, you were expecting that, right?
I was loving that. So,
I love sound-minded people that are on the mission to come together with us, and that's amazing.
Grace, one of my good friends, he wrote Right Brain Child in a Left Brain World. Wonderful individual, and he's always spoken about nature, finds a balance. So a lot of times when we are given some of these, I don't like the word disorder. So when we're given these unique conditions, it comes with actually unique gifts. And I think when we tap into what the potential is, instead of what the detriments are, we get a much better result, and it empowers the patient. So what you said, it hit all of the key points for me. So thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I love what you just said. I really do. And that resonates with me. It's the intention with which we use what people call defects or illnesses. It's how we use that it becomes a gift instead of a detriment in our life. And if we can just teach that to everybody else, we'd be a much happier world.
We would. And I'm trying to get us there. Grace, how did you find us?
I don't know. I was on LinkedIn and I saw something going on, so I clicked on it and it just happened to be you. But that's how the universe works,
Okay, so you can find me through that and message me there too.
Okay,
definitely do that.
Because we're on LinkedIn Live. That is how the universe works. But I actually check my LinkedIn mail or Instagram. I posted it across the screen right now. Don't bother.
Thank you. Yeah.
Or
stay in touch.
Facebook or Twitter. Overload. But I do check my LinkedIn because it's professional. But
okay, I'm on
message me on there.
I'd love that. My name is Grace De La Rosa. Thank you again. And I'm a holistic wellness consultant, and I do mindfulness too and meditation. So
love it.
It all kind of fits in with what we're talking about. So let's definitely connect.
That's dialectical behavioral therapy, being mindful and in the moment and all that. We have so much to talk about, Grace. We could have that on your own show.
We do.
Yes.
We do. All right. Love what you're doing.
Well, I love the callers today. Like,
Thank you,
yay.
Grace. Have a phenomenal day. Oh,
You know,
wow.
the universe puts us all together. The mental health community is not that big, but we find each other. And
Well, and it's nice to find each other.
yeah, because like-minded people find other like-minded people, right? And when we're passionate about something, people will find what they're passionate about as well. And
And the inspiration I get from a lot of people.
Grace,
as
it's getting
well.
towards the end of the show, so I have to let you go, but please keep in touch, okay? If she already hung up, but if you're watching, please keep in touch. I look
She
forward
had
to your
great comments. Yeah, between Dale and Grace, there's wonderful comments.
Yes.
And there's so much depth to this conversation too. And it's
Goodbye.
something that I actually enjoy talking about these because a lot of times, you know, we kind of forget to remind people to feel empowered and to feel happy with what they're able to do. And the one thing that was really hard for me, you know, and it took, 20 years plus to just discover it, is that, my potential was always there. I kind of let a lot of what I believed I had become my identity, kind of what Dale had said as well. And when we forget who we are and what our dreams are, it's really easy to get kind of bogged down, and honestly, it's harder to recover. So when we step outside of the label or the diagnosis and we look at who we are, and understand that there's always potential, no matter what we are dealing with at the time, it allows us to heal and face what we're dealing with, I think, with a clearer mind and a better mindset to move forward. So it's an important discussion, for sure. And I know you had a really great question that you were kind of thinking of. We wanted to leave people with a couple of questions, as we are
Well, I
kind
was
of
thinking,
looking at another show.
here we go. We're going to do 2 more next week, if that's okay with you, Kirk. Because we
Oh,
didn't even get
absolutely.
into how labels impact you at the workplace, and as also and why people don't seek professional help because of fear of being labeled and being looked down upon or feel weak or things like that. It was interesting that it was brought up to the male perspective today, which,
Yeah.
with live radio, you never know what's coming. So we
We
have
went with the
ideas
flow.
and plan, but we can't seem to always just go like in order of what we want. So we'll be back next Thursday and Friday. I think that this needs to be addressed very much so. And but what we need to discuss more is how it's affected the workplace. For instance, and we have the 5-minute mark, so I'm going to be quick. You're going to a job and you're in HR and they want to hire you and they go, we have the 401k benefits, we have vision, dental, but they don't mention mental health because they don't want to embarrass or, to offend anyone. But okay, but you're saying dental and vision. Do I look blind? Is something wrong with my teeth? Like, well, what is that? Like, so why do companies do that? It's silly. And why do they not tell them that they have free employee assistance and programs, free sessions for mental health? We have to wrap up. Ed, thank you so much. Kirk, any takeaways? I'm not going to interrupt you, but I need the 2 minutes to close up the show.
Honestly, the main takeaway is those are definitely important topics to discuss. And I wanted to thank all the callers and listeners for engaging in something that is honestly healing for me. And I know for a lot of people that are, looking at this, don't ever be fearful. Just remember what you want to accomplish, you can do, and believe in yourself. That's what I would close with.
Yeah, well said. And we are on every Thursday and Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and on all platforms. But please go to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to build it up, youtube.com/MOC with Tiffany, or just look up Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. But we're also on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter Live. And we'll share the show on those platforms as well. Kirk, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the listeners. Thanks for the team. And to keep the show keep going for over 7 years and nominated for several awards, and we're just not going to stop. And Kirk promised if we hit 10 years, he's going to get a tattoo on his butt that says Moments of Clarity with Tiffany.
We can work out the details on that one.
Have a wonderful weekend. Be kind to yourself and a stranger. You never know what they're going through. Everyone, take care of yourself and reach out to a stranger and know you're not alone.
Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, you're so alive. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.